sparrows in the sky. Though it may seem today that I'm so far away from you, you never have to fall, 'cause I'm right here before you call my name. And I'll come running to heal you, feel you, take you by the hand, and I'll show you the way to where I am. All you should know that I will never ever go away. As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky. Forget your yesterdays, for when this night to brand new day gives way. Your life, your breath renewed, a ray of sun reminds you it's okay. You'll never be alone if you feel me, hear me, take me into your heart, and we'll never ever have to part. You should know that I would never ever go away. As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky.
Never have to worry about a thing. Don't have to worry, you will never have to worry about a thing. Don't have to worry about a thing.
All you should know that I will never ever go. As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky. Oh yeah, don't worry. Said I never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Consider the lilies, how they grow. Whatever you need, your Father knows. Oh, come on, let me say.
You'll never. Don't you know you never have to worry? I will always be there. Oh yeah, said you will never have to worry. You will never have to worry. Oh, yes.
There's gotta be a better way. Gonna be alright. Every day you get that feeling, you know you want something more. There's a look in your eyes revealing what your life ought to have in store. Is there something that you've been missing? Something you wanna say? Oh, don't you feel you could just cry out? There's gotta be a better way.
There's got to be a better way than the way that you're living today. Gotta be somebody to say everything gonna be alright.
That's right.
There's gonna be a better day. I can feel it when I pray.
When I pray.
Trouble's gonna pass away. Everything gonna be alright.
Alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Alright. Everything's gonna be should be pursuing something a little more worth your while. All your life, God's got a purpose.
Nothing stands in your way.
Now you see what it's all about. There's gotta be a better way.
There's got to be a better way than the way that you're living today.
Way that you're living.
Gotta be somebody to say everything gonna be alright.
Oh, that's
There's
right.
gonna be a better day. I can feel it when I pray. Trouble's gonna pass away. Everything gonna be alright.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Alright. Everything's gonna be alright.
There's got to be a better way
Gotta be,
than the way that you're living today.
gotta be a better way.
Gotta be somebody to say everything gonna be
Alright.
There's gonna be a better day. I can feel it when I pray. Trouble's gonna pass away. Everything gonna be alright.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Alright. Everything's gonna be alright.
There's got to be a better way than the way that you're living today. Gotta be somebody to say everything gonna be alright. There's gonna be a better day. I can feel it when I pray. Trouble's gonna pass away. Everything gonna be alright.
Just between you and me, this is nice. There's no tricks. Ooh, this love is just between you and me. This is not. Ooh, there's no tricks. This love is. Just what do I have to do to let you know? Should I make your flowers grow? Should I make it rain or snow? Yeah. So many things I've done just for you. Forest green and ocean blue. Just to show my love is true. Just between you and me. This is nice. There's no tricks. This love is so real. Just between. This is nice. There's no tricks. This love is so real, yeah.
Don't you know I taught the birds to fly, hung the stars up in the sky? Can you guess the reason why? Can you take more than a passing glance? Nothing is by happenstance, yet you think it's just by chance. Just between you and me. This is not no tricks. This love is so real. Between you and me. This is not. There's no tricks. This love is so real. Ocean deep, river wide, valley low and mountain high. All creation testifies of my love. Summer breeze and winter snow, autumn leaves should let you know. In the springtime, every flower's bloom. It's all for you. Oh, this love is so real. Just between you and me. This is not.
All right, all right, all right.
Hey, everybody.
All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
So, how you doing, babe?
I'm good.
All right, welcome everybody. This is our very first live stream. Well, technically our second. We live streamed last night, but it was just
That was a test.
Yeah. Just testing it out. So we're doing our Ask John and April show. We're doing it live here, and we're hoping that you'll interact with us a little bit. We're excited about this. This is kind of a new chapter for us.
Yes.
We like the idea of live streaming. Actually, we need to give credit to someone. His name is Robert Kennedy.
Yes, thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
call him
Robert.
Bobby. Bobby did this thing last week. It's called a live stream confidence challenge, and we went through it. We signed up for it, and we did it last week. And the whole idea was basically to get people like us who are nervous about doing things live to have more confidence doing it. And a lot of the tips that he gave us and a lot of things that he said, I think made it easier for us to do this. So thank you, Bobby. Excellent job. I also want to thank our good friends, Ricky Court, Lee Ricardo Court, and
Ricky.
Eric Bluetooth Griggs,
Yes, Bluetooth.
who that's the music you heard playing before we started. That's, I think, Ricky's first album. We go way back with these guys. I was in a group with them at Oakwood. We sang a cappella together in a group called As One. And so Ricky and Eric are in California. They're doing big things. Ricky, of course, tours with Naturally Seven. Right now they're not touring, but in a normal situation, if it wasn't COVID, he'd be touring with Naturally Seven. He's the lead singer for them. And then Eric works with Dr. Dre and many other people. So thank you guys for your music. And they've always let us use it since day one. They gave us permission, and so I just want to thank them for that. And anyway, all of our
Yes.
friends and stuff like that. So thank you for
every
tuning in.
Wednesday at 9, we're trying to be here.
Yes,
So,
yes, we're going to force ourselves.
So tune in.
And this is kind of late. Right before we started, we were both yawning. You know what I'm saying?
This is kind of late. I was like, 9 is going to be good. Yeah, we'll be, settled.
Yeah, that's not true, though.
I am so sleepy. Like, what happened? Like,
And-
all of a sudden.
And the reality is that April is a lot more tired than I am. So April is going back to in-person
Oh, my
school
goodness.
next week. So she
Yes.
actually spent today at the school. What about
Yeah.
yesterday? Were you there yesterday?
No,
Jen?
was I there yesterday?
Yeah, but you didn't teach from there.
Right. I taught from there today.
Right.
No, online, just to test out all my equipment and everything.
Right.
And I'm so tired. I feel like I taught all day.
So let me
A
just
room
say
full
this
of kids.
before we get to the question. I have to say this. I have noticed that you definitely are different than you were.
I was hoping he wouldn't say that. Well, I mean,
Okay. It's not in a bad way. I wouldn't say you're different where it's like, I hate it or anything.
Yeah.
But it definitely doesn't feel as good as it. You're not as relaxed as you were.
well, that's because I'm nervous about going back in person. This
Yeah,
is,
that's probably
this is
it.
different. Give me a break.
Oh no, it's not like
Give me a
that.
break.
Yeah, you got a break. Don't worry. I'm.
Hey, Anna.
Anna.
Okay, it's good in Arizona.
wow,
Good,
Arizona.
good time for
Wonderful.
Arizona.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's true because it's 3 hours earlier there, so they're fine.
Yeah,
We're over
they're
here
good.
yawning, but it's like 6 o'clock for them. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's what we want to do. So tonight we are going to take a question that we got from somebody. We're going to read it over the air right now. April and I are going to discuss it, talk about it. You can jump in the discussion any way you want.
Okay,
any
hold on.
comments?
I wasn't paying attention. Did
Okay,
you
sorry.
Did you tell them what this is?
Yeah, it says Ask John and April live.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't
So,
listening.
yeah, April was over there on another computer doing something different. Let me see.
Primo.
I don't think
Different, not in a bad way.
I don't
exactly.
think we can get the
That doesn't go together,
computer on
Primo.
either one
You're
of
right.
those. What do you say? Different, not in a bad way. That's true.
Exactly.
You know what, Primo? Give me a break, man. You know what I'm saying? This guy's always. Anyway, so basically, this is Ask John and April. If you've ever seen, we have a YouTube channel. Our normal show is called Just John and April. That's our podcast where we do it from this room with these microphones and stuff. Sometimes you'll see us in our bedroom without mics, and we'll just be discussing a question that somebody asked us. We get questions in the comments a lot, and so sometimes we'll do that. So basically what we decided was tonight for our first live, we would just take one of the questions and ask it over the air, and then we'd have a discussion, and you can jump in. Any comment you want to make, obviously,
If you have
you
a
can do
question
that.
or anything, join in.
Yeah, so Ambry's
Okay.
here, Anna is here, Primo is here. There are probably
Oh,
others,
hey,
but
Ambry.
and by the way, when you jump on, like just say hi and tell us where you're joining from. I feel like Primo and Shalita may have moved again, so I don't even know where they live right now. They were in South Carolina, then they moved to the West Coast, like Portland or
Right.
something like
We
that. I
don't
don't know
know
where
where
you
they
are
are.
now, but anyway, just tell us where you are for the next 15 minutes, Primo, because I know you guys are gonna move again. Anyway. So why don't we just start with the question? Because
Okay.
okay. So let me say something else.
Okay.
So we have a lot of shows. One of them was about double standards, and we picked this question because Kim is there. Hey, it's April's sister.
Hey,
Good to see you, Kim.
Oh.
Beantown. We don't like Boston, but besides that, we like you. Anyway, so one of our episodes that was they're back in South Carolina. Dang, Primo. Make up your mind. Aunt Mo. Hey.
Mo,
Ebony.
hey.
What's up? Oh, Chris Joseph. What's
What
the
up,
deal,
Chris?
man? Atlanta. Yeah.
ATL in the house.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So there is an episode we did on double standards, and that episode, I guess, understandably, got a lot of comments.
Yes.
A lot of people who just resonated with
Yes.
that particular episode. So you can go back and watch that one, and I think the title is Double Standards. I can't remember. We should have probably researched that
probably
before we
should have,
started.
but,
But anyway, in that episode, we kind of talked about this idea that there are times when I and my wife have issues with each other, and it just so happens that we both do the same thing. Saba, what's up,
What
girl?
up, Sab?
So basically, when if I complain about something that April does and it really bothers me, the first thing she's thinking is, man, you do the same thing.
Like,
Yeah.
okay. So, who was it? Steph.
Yeah, Steph from the
Okay,
DMV.
from the DMV.
Yeah.
He asked a question that went along with that episode.
Hold on, real
Okay.
quick. Sherry Legal is joining us from Trinidad in the Caribbean. Thank you.
Oh,
Hey,
hey,
good to see you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the question was, let me see. Okay, it says, is it okay for me to confront my spouse about something that I don't like that they do when I know I sometimes do the same thing? So is it okay
Wow.
for me to come to you about something that I don't like when I know I do the same thing? That's basically what Steph is asking.
Right. And what I hear in Steph's question is maybe he thinks that you're a hypocrite or something if you do that.
Yeah, how are you going to come to me
Right.
about something when and I guess that's really what I have a hard time with sometimes, when you come to me and I know you do the exact same thing.
I know that really bothers you. And actually, I feel like I know what your answer is already. I already feel like I know what it's going to be.
Okay. So go ahead and just tell them what I'm thinking. Just go ahead and do that.
Okay, clearly, I'm not trying to do that. But, well, okay, so here's what I'm saying. Okay, I'll say what I'm thinking. You want me to go first or you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, here's my personal belief.
Okay.
I feel like there are times when I do, and I've said this to you before, you probably already know what I'm saying too. There are times when I do something that you do that it doesn't actually bother you.
You know what? This is so funny.
Hold on.
Okay,
Well,
I'm sorry.
okay,
I'm
here's
not
what
going to cut you off.
Here's what I'm really saying. I'm saying if both of us do it, but it bothers me when you do it more than it bothers you when I do it, then I feel like it should be fair game for me to say something about it, because just because I do it doesn't mean it really bothers you. Like there are some things that don't get under your skin that much, and there are other things that same thing really, really, really bothers me. I'm saying I should be able to say, I don't like that.
Okay, so are you thinking that I would say that you shouldn't come to me about it? Is that what you're saying that I'm saying? What were you saying that I was going to think?
Well, what I thought you were going to say is that it doesn't really matter. If you do it, you can't say nothing about it. Just shut your face, basically.
No,
Not shut your
that's not
face,
what I was
but
going to say.
okay,
So
what were you
you're
gonna say?
wrong.
Okay.
I do believe Primo.
So Primo
only
says
being
you're only really a hypocrite
When
if
you
you
won't
won't
ad-
admit that you do that too.
Oh my
and
goodness!
I think I agree with
That's
Primo.
It.
I agree. That's where I'm at.
That's where I'm
because
at.
You
Yeah.
can't be at the same thing. We're supposed to be disagreeing, man.
No, but see, there is a difference here, because I think that you should be able to come. But this is where we have our differences here.
Okay.
Okay. So Steph, let me go back to his question to make sure we answer this, because
Okay.
we're getting off.
All right.
He's saying, is it okay for me to confront? I'm saying, yes, it's okay.
Okay, so you think it's okay to confront your
do.
spouse about it, even if it's something
you know
do?
you do it.
Okay.
But this is the thing. When I come to you, or when you come to me
Right.
about the issue, right? I feel like there should be some, what's the word? Empathy.
Okay. Okay.
Because you've been there.
So
you
what you're
know
what you're
I'm-
saying is,
you
as
know-
long as I don't come at you like at your neck as hard as I possibly can, acting like I have this same problem, you're okay with it.
Exactly.
So if I were to say, "Hey, babe, I know I do this too, but it really bothers me when," that you'd be okay with that?
right.
I don't
If you
agree.
would just say
I don't
that.
believe you.
Well, you haven't tried it.
I don't believe you. So, but what I haven't tried it. Well, maybe I haven't. Anyway, here's what I believe. The moment I say, you know what, I know I do this too, you stop me and say, well, then why are you talking to me about it?
No, that's not true. That's not true. That right there will soften my heart immediately.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, don't you agree, guys?
Ambry says this requires reflection time, and ain't nobody got time for that. So apparently, this is something that she hasn't really thought about. The funny thing is, you probably could figure this out right now, Ambry, because this has to happen all the time with y'all. Yeah, you have to have situations where you and Steve are disagreeing on something. Look at she's on my team, April Nixon. I hate when everybody always
No, not
agrees
always.
with you.
It's just that I'm telling the truth. This is the real deal, okay? Let's just be real here. If it is something that we both do,
Right.
and you know you do it, there has to be some empathy there. If you're coming at me with this hard, how you gonna do this, da 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 da,
Right.
I'm like, okay, and usually the reason why it bothers you so much is because you do it.
I agree with that.
Okay.
The things that really get under my skin are the things that I do myself.
Right.
There's no question
That's
about
how
that.
it is with everybody.
By the way, Aunt Mo,
think.
I think, is on my team. Your level of tolerance is different. So possibly in her mind, she's tolerated what you can't.
Okay, let's talk about that, Mo, because no, seriously, because the thing that I really don't like is when John tells me I do this because, it's almost like I do it because I know it doesn't bother you that much. And see, I have a problem with it because he knows it bothers me, but because he doesn't think it bothers me that much. And so I think in relationships, it shouldn't be, because it doesn't bother you that much, or at least you don't act like it, I'm going to do it anyway. Or I'm not going to think about.
But that's not really what I'm doing.
Okay, explain that.
Before I explain, I want to say that I love Primo. I'm never on April's team, even if I think she's right.
That's because I beat Primo in golf.
That may be why. That's so dirty. And that's not true. Primo, that's not true.
So I said I just roll my eyes. I know my husband does the same thing. So she just rolls her eyes.
Okay, so what did you just say I do? Because I don't think that's true.
It is. There have been times when we talk, and
Right.
we're talking about relationships, people who, we all deal with this.
Yeah.
But with us, I just feel like there are times that John will say, or you will say, well, it doesn't bother you that much. So I don't.
You're right. I have been guilty
You
of
don't really
that.
think
You're
about
right.
it.
You're right. I have
The
been guilty
whole
of that.
point of that statement is the reason why I don't really think about it, or I just do it without thinking about you, or
Mm-hmm.
is because it doesn't bother you that much. And I'm saying sometimes it does bother me that much, but I choose not to react at a 10. I choose not to do that because I know it's going to turn into something. And we are trying to keep the peace.
Right.
So you don't want to always be, responding at a 10. Sometimes you just say, you know what? Roll my eyes, like Saba said. You
Right.
roll your eyes,
Right.
and you go on. But then when it comes back to you, it shouldn't be where you say, well, it doesn't bother you that much, because you really don't know what I'm feeling inside.
Right. So
You see what I'm saying?
Right. So my feeling is that when it really comes down to, oh yes, Tony L, there is a topic. The topic tonight is double standards, and what we're talking about right now is basically the question that we got from Steph was, is it okay for me to ask to confront my spouse about something that I don't like when I know that I do the exact same thing? And my position is yes. April said yes too. It's okay.
Yeah,
But
I think
hers is
it's
a little
okay.
bit different. I think it's okay because I think that sometimes there are things that bother me more than they bother her. But April's saying that shouldn't matter. All she's saying is as long as I come with empathy when I tell her what it is that I have the problem with, that she's fine with that.
Exactly.
And I don't know if that's true, but I will test it out next time.
It is. It's true. And I feel like, even if I don't express it, sometimes, things build.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't always have to respond. You don't always have to say, that bothers me. But you have to just know that when you're coming at me about something and I say, well, you do the same thing, usually you don't respond with, I know I do.
Right.
You'll respond with, no, I don't. Or
You're right.
or usually this is the comment. Usually it's not the same.
You're right. And to you, that feels like I am downplaying your feelings and making it so that because it doesn't bother you the same way, it really shouldn't be that deep. We shouldn't be having this conversation, basically.
Exactly. But I think it doesn't matter. In relationships, it's going to be double standards. It's going to be where somebody does something and then, you do the same thing and you're reacting as if you don't do it. That
Right.
happens all the time.
Right. It does.
How do you fix that? I mean, can that go away?
Man, Chris, man, you're supposed to be on my team, man.
John messed up by saying it doesn't bother you that much. Exactly. And he says his opinion is no, you shouldn't check your spouse on something both do to each other. Okay, so you're saying you shouldn't.
So
check.
Chris, you don't
Okay.
think you should check? Okay, so then Chris, how would you handle that then? Because I'm saying if this is something that really bothers me and we keep coming down this road all the time, the fact that we both do it shouldn't mean it's not up for grabs to discuss,
See,
right?
This is the real point. This is the real point. Most of the time, we're not going to see that we both do it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see that he does it and that's it.
Right.
Because
You mean you're going to see that? I'm not going to see that.
Right. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm going to see
Yeah.
whoever is going to see that person does it and I
Yes.
don't.
Right.
Or when I do it, it's different because, and there's a reason why. And I mean, both parties can say that.
Right.
So I don't think the thing about it is I never really think in my mind when I go to John about something that bothers me. I do the same thing. I'm going to just let it go.
That's true. I don't do that either.
I don't do that.
But
Who does?
But here's the other.
Who does that?
And on the flip side, April, when you say you do the same thing, all that does is make me defensive.
Exactly.
Immediately.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
tell you what
true.
it does for
That's
me.
true. That's true.
The moment I come to
It
you with a
does.
problem and you respond with you do the same thing, that makes me feel like you're not taking my issue seriously. Who cares that I do the same thing? Right now, it's bothering me. So it doesn't matter. Let me say, to me, that's changing the subject.
It's like I can't help myself. It's like, how can you be coming to me with this issue? But it's true. You're right. You should be able to go to your spouse and it not be that you respond with, this is something you do too.
Right.
That should not be the case because then that causes another whole thing and then you go into that and
Okay, so
it's
Chris
too
is
much.
saying
It
it
becomes
should
too much.
cancel each other out. That's
okay,
that.
it should cancel each other out.
Well, he didn't say other, but he said it should cancel each out. That's what he said. So
Right,
he's
right.
saying the fact that you do it and the fact that I do it should cancel it out. But I guess what I'm saying, Chris, is in my opinion, it doesn't take the problem away. So if this is something that keeps coming back up over and over again and it bothers me and bothers me and bothers me, I guess what April's saying is I should take into consideration the fact that I do this all the time and it should make me soften myself toward her. And now when she does it, I shouldn't think to myself, why is she doing that again? I should think to myself, oh man, you know what? I understand because I do the same thing. But Chris is saying, I think, maybe don't even bring it up because
You know
I
you do
know
that.
I do that too. Now, here's the thing, all right?
Okay.
If I feel the way I feel and it's legitimate, if when I say to you what my problem is and your response is, you do that too, and that makes me feel like I'm not being heard,
Mm-hmm.
then the question is, when do you tell me that? Like, when is it okay for you to tell? I think you should tell me like way after the fact, like 3 days when it's over. You know what I'm saying?
3
We're
days.
done. Yeah, I'm not mad about it no more. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
I agree that maybe that should come later. But I love what Sherry is saying right now because I think this is the point I was trying to make. And she said it perfectly. Okay. Can each person do the same thing but in different degrees or in different ways to each other, leading to different effects on the other?
Right, and this is what I think I'm saying. I think I'm agreeing with Sherry. I
No,
think
you are agreeing because you're talking about it. But you said, it doesn't bother you that much. But what I'm saying is she's saying here, affecting you in different degrees. It may affect me in a different degree where I go into the room and I am upset. I'm
Right.
beating up the pillow.
right. Do you
Because
do that? You beat up the pillow?
Maybe.
Oh my
No, I'm
goodness,
just kidding.
man.
I don't do that. But I'm just saying, like,
Right.
I may go in and be like talking to myself, like, he is so wrong for that. Like,
Right.
but I didn't say anything. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it may affect me to a degree that you don't even know. But she's right. It's going to affect somebody in a different way. That is
Chris,
very true.
Chris just said correct. Don't bring it up. Chris is like, look, you know it canceled it out. So
doesn't
Chris,
cancel it out, though.
okay,
It doesn't cancel it out.
But I kind of feel what he's saying, but only if, because Chris, what I'm saying is, how do you get to the place where you know, like April just said, I don't know that I do the same stuff she does.
Exactly.
All
That's
I
usually the
all I
case.
know is I'm mad at what she just did. So at some
Exactly.
point she's gonna have to tell me you do the same thing, and then I guess we have to come up with some kind of pact, which is, hey, from now on, since we both do that, we don't talk about this.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll work for me.
No,
I'm telling you
I
that
know
now.
that won't work for me because it's always different in my eyes. You know what I'm
Agreed.
saying?
Me too.
It's always different in the eyes of the one who's doing it.
Or who's receiving it? You mean like who's getting the short end
No,
of the
I'm
stick?
saying even when I'm
Oh,
doing
you're saying
it,
when you're the one doing it, it feels
yes, when
different.
I'm
Yes,
doing the
yes,
thing,
yes.
it's different because I'm doing it because of something you did,
Right,
or the
right,
way you're
right,
acting.
right,
You know what
right,
I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So
right.
I don't know. I just feel like that's going to be a building thing that will build contempt.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And then
especially
over
time.
time, you're going to blow up.
Right.
So I'm not sure not saying anything would really help that. I don't think I agree with you, Chris, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and there are others who are coming at Chris right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here for the comments.
Tiffany said pillow catching those hands.
And boo to Chris.
Oh my goodness.
So let's go back then.
Wendy said she's taking notes.
Wendy, okay. Hey, what's up,
Wendy.
Wendiva? Good to see you, girl. Yeah, take them notes, girl.
Can I take this out?
Oh yeah, I don't think we even need this
Okay,
anymore.
thanks.
You don't have to.
Yeah,
You don't
it's
have to hold that
bothering
in
me.
there. Yeah, me too. So, okay, look what Brian says. What's up, Brian? You have to stop too if you want her to stop, even if it doesn't bother her. Brian,
So
that's
what did
gold.
Brian say?
You have to stop too
if you want her
if
to
you want
stop
her to
you-
stop. Even if it doesn't bother her. Okay, Chris, that would be my question to
Oh,
you. That's
that
my
is a
question, Chris.
good
All right, so
one.
let's
Okay.
just say, Chris, that April confronts me 3 days after the fact, like I said, all right? And now I know that I do the same thing she does, right? Then we decide whatever we decide, right? The next time this comes up, if I ever want April to even listen to me on this, I have to stop doing it. That's what Brian's saying.
Wow.
I have to say, okay,
That's true.
this is something I got to stop doing too because it bothers me so much. Even if it doesn't bother
Yes.
you at all, really.
Okay, so let's give some examples here.
Okay.
So here's an example. I am, trying to I'm trying to talk to you,
Right.
right? This has happened before.
Okay.
And you're on your phone.
Okay.
And you will be on your phone and I'm talking. Now I talk
This doesn't
okay.
happen that often, by the way. Just so you know.
This is just an example.
Okay, good. Anyway,
I started talking before you got on the phone, before somebody texted you. right?
Okay.
So while I'm in the middle of my sentence, you pick up your phone and you start texting. My husband
I feel
cannot
like I did that today.
cannot multitask when it comes to you can multitask and I was like you're multitasking right now. You're
Right.
doing a great job.
Thank you, babe.
But
Producing the
when
show.
but when it comes to texting and listening,
It's basically having two conversations at the same time.
guys,
Yeah.
it cannot happen for
Right,
him. Okay,
right.
so when I do that,
And it happened. You did it today.
the level of he'll say stuff like, no, just go ahead and finish your text, just go ahead, just that kind of, and I'm saying you understand how that can be sometimes where you were picking up your phone almost the exact same time where the person started talking, and so it's like, and Brian's saying that you have to stop doing that if you want someone else, and you haven't stopped. You see what I'm saying? So
You're
it's
right.
like, so it's hard for me.
So Brian's right. I need to stop
It is,
texting
Brian,
while you're talking.
That is so good, and that is so true.
Okay, I will do that. Now, Tony just said, I'm still going to be bothered, but at the same time, I don't want to beat a dead horse. Point it out when it's a problem, but
okay.
don't dwell on it. So she's saying, it sounds like what you're saying, Tony, is that when we do this kind of thing, we need to basically temper it down a little bit. Don't go to 10 and stay there for a long time. That's a big deal.
That
actually.
is a big deal.
Yeah.
And we actually have an episode on that, a recent episode about not taking things to a 10, keeping that thing,
Yeah. What was the
keeping it
name of
at a
that one?
3 if that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's true. Sometimes we take things all the way up here for something that we know we do.
Right.
Or even if we don't know we do it. I think that there's not a way for you to really handle that properly if you're taking it to a 10. Because once it
Is it does the punishment fit the
That's
crime?
it,
Episode 55? Yeah,
yes.
that's it right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so go check that
the
out.
punishment doesn't fit the crime.
Right.
So you're right, and you can't really accomplish, This is what happens when I work during the day, and then I try to do
You have
lives
like
at
you
9.
have like teacher brain or whatever at the end of the day.
Oh, resolve the conflict.
Right, exactly. Okay, so look at what Primo's saying. Is it possible to get to the point where we just ignore what our spouse does to offend us, where we should just let the offense go and forgive instantly? Yes, Primo.
I do that all the time.
All the time, babe?
I do that
Come on.
often.
I do it too, but here's the thing,
Okay.
Primo, and this is how I work. Maybe it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, okay.
This is how it works for me. I can do that for a set amount of times
Yes.
before it really bothers me.
And see,
So
that's what I'm saying.
I can
Yes.
go probably 4, maybe 5 times, and then all of a sudden, April, and this is for us. I don't know if we said that in the episode of Does a Punishment Fit the Crime, but this is when it happens to me.
Okay.
If it builds up like that, then all of a sudden I blow up about a little thing, and you're like, "Whoa, where's this coming from?" It's because
I put the mug on the counter. Why are you tripping?
right. It wasn't that, but still, yes. But see, that's how it works for me. I don't know why it's like that. I want to be able to just instantly forgive. There are some things that used to bother me that April used to do that just doesn't bother me anymore. But if it happens 20 times, it's gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? And one of those things is being late, but it's probably because she's gotten so much better at it. Like
Exactly.
when we first got married,
this
this girl was
up
late.
when I am not late at all now.
That's true. You're right.
Wow.
It's just much
You know, see, you were supposed to forgive and forget.
No, just forgive.
We need to talk about that later. We'll talk about
Right.
that in another episode.
Okay, Saba says no one is married to Jesus, so we are all imperfect. But that
true.
doesn't cancel it out. I agree.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
you're right. And see, Primo, I have to go back to what you were saying because let me tell you, things build. We actually just wrote an article in the Message magazine about this.
What's up, Bobby? He's
About
here.
things. Hey, Bobby.
Robert
about
Kennedy.
oh Robert, I'm sorry. About allowing those things to build, and then what happens is it begins to develop into contempt. You do not want to have contempt for your spouse.
You don't.
But let me tell you what contempt looks like. Every time they walk in a room, you're like, you know what
Right.
I mean? Like, do you?
And they haven't even done anything.
They haven't even done anything.
They just came in the room.
Them,
They're breathing,
yeah,
and that's bothering
just
you.
looking at them makes you irritated.
Yeah.
And I think that when you let stuff go, I mean, you have to be a special person. You have to be someone who has, I think, different personalities, can allow that.
Right.
But for me and what I've seen in relationships and people that we have counseled and talked to, it's just it building and building and building. After a while, I'm sorry, you're going to break.
Yeah. I agree.
So I just feel like we always talk about communication. Communication, you have to discuss the situation, but you also have to be understanding. You have to have empathy.
I agree. This is Camila Alexander.
Okay.
I think once you put it out, you need to give them some time to fix it before you get to a 10.
True. Yes.
I'm with that.
Yes.
But
yes.
but here's the thing, Camila.
And if you've been doing something like that for your whole life, if that's who you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been late, you always late. Now, that's not me, but I'm just saying you brought that up. I don't know why you brought that up. But
Right.
anyway, you brought that up. And, I mean, you get married, and that person is expecting you to now be on time just because you're married to them? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So you have to be,
So
So
So this is the thing about Bobby. I like him. I've known him for years.
Okay.
But he's supposed to be on my side. Too much John's fault. You know what I'm
Thank you,
saying?
Robert.
By the way,
Thank you.
thanks for that tip just now, Bobby. And I fixed it.
And Kim said, don't sweat the small stuff. And it's true. There are some things that you really can. So let's go back to Chris. Chris, there are some things that I think you can just say, you know what? I'm not even going to sweat that. I do that more now, guys. We're almost 20 years in marriage.
Yeah.
December 17th will be 20 years.
Yep.
And I'm shocked sometimes
20 beautiful
where
years.
I'm able to just let it go.
Yeah, I am shocked too, actually. Because some
And
of the
not
stuff.
even like John doesn't
some
even
of the stuff that
realize
she
how many
let-
things I have just let go. He don't even. Matter of fact, there was an issue. You saw it on my face. I didn't bring it up. How did that make you feel?
Well, that's the thing.
What did that do to you?
I'm actually at the point now where I can tell when I messed up. I can tell when it's about to go sideways and it doesn't, that she reeled it in, and it makes me feel good. It actually happened recently on a trip to Atlanta. I did something, and we ended up not talking about it, which it could have been a bigger deal than it ended up being. And the next day in the car driving back home, I said, hey, you want to talk about that thing that happened?
He brought it up.
Right.
Because I didn't. And I said to myself, you know what? He was mad cranky because he didn't get no rest last night.
And
so
I hadn't eaten yet.
Here's the empathy.
Right.
See, this is what empathy looks like. I have to get my sleep.
Amen.
And if I don't get my sleep, I act like John when he don't get no food.
Oh, brother.
Okay. But every once in a while, he will act like, he'll act like me when he's sleepy.
Right.
Because it was several days, we had several days of staying up, 2:00 in the morning and stuff like that. And he was super cranky.
Plus, I drove the whole way to Atlanta, all 10 hours.
He did.
And the whole way back.
After leaving at like 3:30 in the morning. So,
Right.
or getting up at 3:30, leaving at
Yeah,
4.
yeah.
But, and this is what I did. I thought about that. I said, you know what? He drove all the way here. We left at 4 o'clock. He didn't sleep the whole time. And then, you know, you come into family and you're talking, so you don't take a nap. You don't go to sleep. You know, I thought about the fact that he was stressed with some work stuff, you know, and he was hungry as well. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna just give him a pass here, even though and I guess this is where it comes, where I was understanding as a person who gets cranky when she's sleepy.
Yeah.
And even though I did comment like, what's wrong with you? Like, I did respond a little bit like, you know what? You are really acting.
So
I was
basically,
like, you're being so immature right now.
Now, real quick,
You're being so immature.
Let's just point out that it was actually, it could have been really bad, because
could
what
have been
happened
really
was
bad.
we were both in the kitchen. April's parents were both in the family room, the den, which is right there, right? And the kids were close too. And I said something, she said something back, and we went back and forth, kind of snapping at each other, and we're getting a little bit loud. It could have been where, you know.
I mean, we would have brought it back in after we realized, but
Well,
somebody would have heard.
We kind of stopped because of that, I think.
No, I stopped because I said,
I stopped
you know,
because I was like, I don't want them getting all.
I stopped because I thought about it. I said, you know what? He's cranky. He's
Okay.
sleepy. That was after I called you immature.
You did call me that first. That's true. What did I say? I said something to you too. I said I called you
You
a name.
called me somebody's name.
No,
that
that's
be
not what
acting
it was. I know what it was. I said,
You did.
I did. What was that?
He called me somebody's name that acts like what I was acting like.
That's true.
And
I
I
did.
was really mad about that.
And I said that if she would look up from her phone for a second, that she might have heard me.
Yes.
And so I'm
And so
sure
I-
she was thinking at that time, you just
You
did
do that all the time.
Yeah.
Right. You do that all the time. So here we go. This was it. It was a whole big, you know,
Oh, man.
okay? This is a whole big thing dealing with double standards, that whole situation. And that's where, let me go back to the word empathy.
Yeah.
That's where it came in, where I said, you know
Right.
what? I understand. He's tired. You know, I'm not even going to bring this up. I'm going to let this go because I know he didn't mean it when he called me that person's name.
I didn't mean it.
He
but
did not mean that.
No, I didn't.
And I knew,
Gabe talking about John.
and I knew that I felt I was right for calling him immature because at the time that was a very immature response. So that was not name calling. I thought that was, you know, telling it like it was.
Patrick Graham said I should have smacked myself to confuse you. Maybe I'll do that next time, Pat.
But I didn't bring it up, guys.
Right.
We didn't. And so John said later, do you want to talk about it? And we had a great conversation in the car.
Yeah, it was good.
It ended up being a wonderful fight.
I
It wasn't even a fight.
But it wasn't even a fight at that
I'm
point.
saying it
And
didn't turn into
I
a
felt like we
fight.
both understood each other too. Like I felt like
We
you
did.
listened to me, and I felt I don't know if you feel like I listened to you, but I definitely felt like you listened to me. You know what I'm saying?
And so, and I decided, guys, because he said to me, he said, do you want to talk about this? And I didn't say anything at first. I got quiet and I said to myself,
I didn't say, "Do you want to talk about?" I said, like a
You
joke.
said, I know.
I said, "So, are we going to talk? Are we going to talk about that what happened yesterday?"
Right.
Right.
And I was quiet and I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to listen to what he has to say.
Right.
Because his comment at the refrigerator was.
Look at Chris. I'm Team John, but someone else's name, bro.
Exactly. But let me tell you, we were at the fridge and I was like, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But you were at the fridge. What happened? You were getting something to eat. You know what I'm saying?
No, sorry. This is the end of the day, brain.
You're
I'm
right.
sorry, I just don't have it. Anyway.
But that was a good comment by Chris, though.
that was. But anyway, my point is, when you asked me if I wanted to talk, I was quiet and I said, you know what? I'm going to, this is what happened. At the refrigerator, he says, you don't listen to me.
That is what I said.
And he used a word that we say to our couples to never use.
I think I said never.
And he said never.
Right.
He said, you never listen to me. So guys, when you hear your spouse say things like never,
Always.
calls you, he said, you acting like Jimmy. That's not his
Right,
name, but I'm
right.
just putting that name out there.
Yeah.
Okay. When he does things like that, this is where you say, you know what? I know he didn't mean that.
Right. Well,
I
see,
know
that's
he
you
did
giving
not
me the
mean
benefit
that.
of the doubt. That's you basically having
It is.
20 years of experience, knowing me and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And that's helpful in a situation like
He
that.
was cranky. He was
So maybe the bottom line is
2 hours of sleep.
maybe the bottom line of this question is, if we are going to actually be coming at each other about something that we have a problem with, as long as we do it with empathy because we also do it,
Yes.
then it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. If I say to you, babe, I know this is a problem that I have too, but this is really something that bothers me, you'd be okay with that?
Yeah, I would.
You promise?
Yes.
I don't think.
And let me, Andrew, you know what? Did you say he was acting immature, or do you call him? And I did. I called him a name. Because
Yeah,
we
that
say
was-
that.
it was name calling.
I
Right.
needed to say, babe, you're acting immature. That's not name calling, but I called him immature.
That's name calling.
And I really was calling you a name.
Right.
Because I was mad. I was like, you are so
but
immature right now.
But did I already call you the other name,
You know,
or did I call you the name
no,
before?
I might have said you're acting so immature. No, I said you're immature. And
Yeah.
I said something like you're being immature or something like that. I didn't say you're immature because I don't think he's immature, but he was being immature.
But you
at
meant
the
it as a
moment.
name call.
I did. I
Exactly.
actually meant it as a name
That's-
call
that's
because
the
you
point.
called me Jimmy. You know, he called me Jimmy. I was like, that's so immature. Like, you're being so immature. Are you kidding me? You're calling me Jimmy? Because Jimmy be acting like this? Like, come on.
Saba said that when she hears never and always, she knows it's not a serious conversation.
Right. No, that's so true. So when
Like,
he
if you want me taken
said-
seriously, don't use.
Matter of fact, Saba, I did not even respond to that. When he
Right.
said you never listen to me,
Right.
that was it.
Right.
I was like, okay,
Right.
he's sleepy.
Right.
Like, I'm not even
Right.
going to discuss. We're not even having a conversation.
That's how you knew.
Right.
Right.
So later in the car, when he said, do you want to talk about it? I stopped and I said to myself, and this is what I think we should do. Even if you do not do that all the time.
Right.
Right. I could say to myself, I know he was sleepy, and I know when I'm sleepy, when I'm really sleepy like that, I know I could get cranky. I know I could get irritable. So let me listen to him. And actually, I thought about you saying you never listen, and I said I'm going to prove to him that I do listen.
Okay.
And I'm going to show him that I'm willing to listen.
Right.
And I was very quiet until you said, "Okay, it's time for you to talk." You know, like I allowed you to talk. I didn't cut you off. I didn't say, no, that's not what I did. I didn't say anything like that. Like it was all about listening to you and making sure that, you know, you knew I was really wanting to hear what you had to say the day before when you were saying it. And, you know, you were saying it in a cranky way.
Right.
But you did feel some of those things.
And I think that's
You know.
probably why I listened more to you when we talked in the car.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't want to listen. So basically, what I felt like happened in that moment when we had the argument that day before, I felt like my rights were being violated. And I didn't want to hear or think about the fact that I do the same thing or anything like that. I wanted you to just focus on me for that moment.
Right.
But the next day, it was like, I guess because we had that little dust up, you know what I'm saying? I was ready to really listen, and I felt like
Yeah.
we really did it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's a comment there that Aunt Mo
I'm
made
sorry.
that I want to, it's a long one, but
Okay.
it's good.
Okay.
Okay, you married someone with all the issues that annoy you, and yet they didn't start annoying behavior after the vows. So if something disturbs you, say it, not to destroy, but to inform.
Yes.
When you love someone, if you're hurting them, you'll stop. Never dismiss someone else's hurt or pain, and never allow someone to walk in darkness about what they're doing to you that hurts you. See, that's kind of what I'm saying. I kind of feel like we've been married too long to just not say stuff if it's something that needs to be, if it's for information's sake. But we've been married long enough that we probably don't have to say certain things ever again because we already know.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Aunt Mo is
Like
basically saying, if I'm bringing this up to hurt you or something like that, then of course that's a no-no. If I'm bringing it up just to inform you, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm saying maybe we agree with Chris in some way. If there's a time in which we can let each other know that this is a problem, then maybe we don't have to, maybe we say from now on, okay, if you're not willing to stop that behavior, then let's just stop talking about this because we both do it.
Right.
If we
Right,
both
right,
gonna
right.
hold on to it, then fine. Just hold on to it and just don't do it no
Okay,
more.
so are you going to hold on to looking
No,
at
I'm
your
gonna tell you
text
right now.
message
Brian
while
just
I'm talking?
Brian just convicted me. I'm literally going to stop looking because it really bothers me when you do it. I'm gonna stop when you talk to me. I'm putting my phone down and away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be conscious of that because I really want you to stop doing it.
But I will say that we also should be understanding in that if I see you texting, if I see that you are in a conversation.
You mean like
I'm-
I was already in one
Yeah,
before you
I'm
started
not
talking
gonna.
to me?
I'm not gonna come because see that's what you do to me, and
You're
see that's
right.
what bothers me
That-
so
that's
much.
the thing that happens
Brian,
more than
listen
nothing.
to this. When I talk to John,
Right.
and he starts texting, it'll be like I was talking to him, and he'll pick up his phone while I'm talking,
Right.
Or I didn't realize he was about to text me. But
Sometimes.
I will be in the middle. John wants me to put it down right then, no matter what, and just start listening. And I'm saying I think that's a
definitely
little. I mean,
It depends on the level of importance of what I'm
yes,
talking
but
about.
sometimes I don't know that. I mean,
Sure.
I would rather you say, and this is what
You'd rather me say, "Hey, babe, this is really important. Can you put your
can
phone
you hold
down?"
on a second? Yeah,
Right.
and I can hold off a text.
Yeah.
Or I could say, hold on just a second. Let me send this real quick.
Right.
Because it could be that somebody's asking me something at work that I need to respond to.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like that is, anyway.
I feel you.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Anyway, So let me see if there's any other comments here we want to say. Last part of that almost exactly. That's not always fair, though. Okay, Bobby, what do you mean that's not always fair, though? You got to ask permission to interrupt. Okay.
Okay. That's true. But what I'm saying is, right, you have to ask permission to interrupt. You mean somebody?
So Bobby's saying if you're in the middle of a text conversation and I just start talking to you, I can't expect that you're going to put your phone down to listen. I need to say, hey, babe, can I interrupt you real quick?
This is my husband.
I agree with you,
This is
Bobby.
what John wants me to do. And I'm not kidding you, Bobby. He wants me to read his mind. And this is
most of the time that's true.
He
But
does,
but
and I
but
think
Bobby,
that's unfair.
but Bobby,
That's unfair.
we've been married almost 20 years.
No,
She knows what I'm thinking.
No, John. No. That is not fair.
You know.
No, that's not fair. And I always say, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, I cannot read your mind. So there are times when he talks to me while I'm texting. He'll keep on talking, and I respond because, see, I can multitask. I can text and listen.
That's not true.
He can't do that.
She thinks she
do
can.
that.
It's not true.
He can't do that.
I'll go back and be like, what did I
So-
just say? And she'll be like, and then
I-
she'll give me something. I'll be like,
I
no,
don't
that's not
repeat
what I said.
word for word, but
No.
I give the gist.
That's not what I
You
want.
know?
I want to know you're listening.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. My point is, anyway, I lost it again. But let's go back.
Richard
Let's go
Bryant. Hey,
back.
John. Honestly, honesty is still the best policy. However, ask yourself, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Then it's screened. Okay, I agree with that. I try to live by that, except when I'm in my feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. When you're in your feelings, it's very hard to go back to all of these great tips.
Exactly.
And so it's like you have to practice it again and again and again in order to get that thing right.
So Michael Coxum says, treat your spouse how you want to be treated. It will eliminate that stuff. That's true. But Michael, what happens though is there are times when we're in our feelings. It doesn't matter. It's like in that moment, I'm not thinking about how I want to be treated. I need to be.
Right.
And what April
Right.
and I try to teach couples is to practice these positive ways of handling conflict more and more as much as you
Right.
can.
That's
because
why he's wearing this pass the mic, because
yeah.
conflict
You already
resolution, passing that mic, where when I have the mic, it's my turn to speak. and
Exactly.
Share my feeling. Anyway, go
Look
ahead.
at the old episode. But the point is, if I'm in my feelings, what ends up happening is a lot of those rules and things that I
Yeah,
want to
go out the
remember go out the window.
They do.
And so we haven't experienced that a whole lot lately, but we did just recently at her parents' house, and it was an eye opener, because some things you feel like you've been married long enough, you're past that. You're not.
No,
You're just not. You're a human being still.
Exactly.
And you're gonna have all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So go back, because Shanice said, that's not fair, John. She is human.
Shanice, what's up,
Hey,
girl?
Shanice. And that is true. And I think that goes back to just remembering what Saba said earlier. We're not perfect. And see, he can't see. You see, he
Mo
can't
said,
respond
thank you for
to
marrying my
you see-
nephew.
You're
Sorry,
welcome,
I didn't even
Mo.
hear what you
see,
said
he
there.
can't- exactly,
I'm sorry.
'cause
I was reading at the same
no,
time.
it's fine. You have to read. Mo, that's hilarious. He's a great guy. He's
He is.
wonderful.
He is a great guy.
But we all have our thing,
Yeah.
And thanks, Aunt Mo. And I just feel like, I'm going back to, we can't read minds.
Right.
You have to share. Hey,
Yeah.
babe, this is important. Because sometimes John will talk to me while I'm texting. We go back and forth, and it's fine. That's what I was going to say earlier that I forgot. But then there are other times when it's something serious, and I can't tell. I don't know. We're chilling, and we both on our phones, and then all of a sudden you want to get into a deep conversation out of nowhere, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not really fair for me to have to figure
It's
that
true. I
out
have to
just
give
by
you-
looking
I
at
have to
you.
give you some lead time next
Just a
time.
little
You're
bit.
right.
Just a little bit.
Look at mom all late and wrong. Tell me I agree
Hey,
with
Mom.
Nolette. You can't. You know what? Well, you agree
We
with
can
Nolette that
easily-
I'm a great guy? What are you saying? Oh, that you're glad he married. Okay, I understand now.
What's Gabe saying right there?
He said we can easily get caught in our feelings. I put
Oh,
that one up already.
right,
yeah.
right,
We
exactly.
can lose the skills in practice. Anyway,
Hey, Jared.
where's Jared? Oh, Jared's here. What up, man?
Hey.
He talking about he
taking
taking notes. Look at him. Yeah, Jared. Hey, y'all. Look, we're gonna do this every single Wednesday. We're gonna try every Wednesday at 9.
Yeah, we're
so I
gonna
hope you
try.
come back and catch us again.
This was great.
We enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too.
And I'm gonna just say, when you're talking about these kinds of things, I hope this happens to you. It actually makes us better spouses to
I
each
think so,
other.
too.
It gets us closer to each other. So I'm hoping that you watch these things with your spouse. You guys, when you turn it off, you keep discussing these things, because I think communication is very important.
I agree.
So, Chris, I like the comments that you had, but I do not agree that we should not say anything.
Right.
I think we should, but
Right.
I do agree with my sister that you should not sweat the Stuff that's not
The
that
small
deep.
stuff.
The small stuff.
Yeah, don't sweat the small stuff. She said. You know
My
what I'm saying?
brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
don't sweat-
your
don't
brain
sweat-
your brain will come back next Wednesday. We'll
Yeah.
have a
Don't
nap
s-
beforehand and
yeah,
stuff like
don't
that.
sweat the small stuff
Yeah,
because
yeah,
life
yeah.
is just too short.
It's
It really
true.
is. It is.
Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for
Thanks,
joining.
Avery. Thanks, guys.
See y'all next time.
I already did mine.
Something that you've been missing, something you wanna say. Oh,
All right.
don't you feel you could just cry out? There's gotta be a
Say, move
better
on.
way.
There's got to be